Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pixel Underground podcast. This week, we'll be talking about the upcoming game Hogwarts Legacy, which releases February 10th, 2023. All right, and we are recording for this week's episode, which is Hogwarts Legacy. All right.
Oh boy. I don't know
Yeah.
if I should be excited or not.
I think so.
I don't know. I have there are reasons why I'm cautious, and that seems like a theme for every episode so far. Oh. The reason why I'm cautious is that the developer of this game is Portkey Games or something, and they are a mobile game developer originally because they stood behind the two, I think both mobile games on Harry Potter. One of them was heavily criticized for having predatory monetization for a kids game. Especially this one moment was discussed where your character is being strangled by the vines and you hit that time, like that paywall, where either you as a child, well, it's for children, so you imagine a child staring at their character being suffocated by these vines, which looks like a porno scene. But so, and then the company says, oh yeah, you want to get over that, pay us, otherwise you have to wait for like an hour or whatever.
Oh my god.
And that was really heavily criticized. Yeah, that was, I don't remember exactly who developed it, but I'm pretty sure Portkey Games has something to do with all Harry Potter thing games. And then the other one, they did a spoof on Pokemon Go, and that was Wizards Unite or some shit. I actually played that. It looked pretty decent, but it was hella confusing because it had a lot more elements to it, but
Yeah.
it lacked that Pokemon battle type of deal. There was some kind of stuff that you could do, but I kind of never tried it, and I was hella confused by
I
it.
want to say that I tried that one if I remember correctly. I think I
Yeah.
tried it. It's hard to remember though.
And the problem is it got shut down.
Right.
So it got completely taken off, and that's done. I don't know about the other game. I tried it once. I hit that same vine block, and I'm like, well, I ain't paying you any money.
No, wait, is that the Hogwarts Mysteries game?
I don't remember. I just remember it was like a story based, like you create your own character, you choose a house, and
Yeah.
then
I think
you
that's the
become the
Hogwarts
friends.
Mysteries.
Yeah, and then you kind of follow sort of the canon, like the regular Harry Potter timeline, and you get into similar troubles and whatnot. So one of those was with the vines. I remember it was heavily criticized, and I think I stopped playing around the same time. I hit that wall. It's basically what happens is they give you from the start, like any mobile game, they give you whatever currency they're using,
Right, yeah.
and they give you just enough. If you use it constantly, that's how you will get to that point, and that's where you're gonna get stuck.
Yeah, I remember.
And
It is really annoying.
And the problem for me was like, I'm not paying you any money, and then I just tend to forget. Like, this is why I hate games, and I don't play mobile games for that reason. First of all, they're predatory monetization. Secondly, because I'm a free-to-play player, I tend to just forget about them.
Right, yeah.
Because,
Yeah,
like,
it's
I get
like time
distracted
gating and then you pay
Yeah,
to progress quickly. But yeah, there's one game that there's a mode in the game where you have to come back every 10 minutes to progress, and you have to do it like 3 or 4 times to finish the little expedition or whatever, and I've never finished one because I can never remember to come back.
And then after I come back, I'm like, well, and like either timer resets or some shit happens, and I'm like, well, I cannot progress. I guess bye game, and that's the end of me. Like, I get bored with mobile games for that reason. So my reservation is because Porky Games has something to do with this one. I'm just hoping they're not gonna fuck it up.
Yeah.
Or they're not
same.
going to turn this game into more like a mobile game. That's another reservation I have.
Yeah, I don't think it will be though. I think from what I've seen so far, it's just going to be more of like an open world RPG. And that's why I'm really excited for it, because that's basically all I've ever wanted. I never wanted Hogwarts Mysteries or Harry Potter Go or whatever the fuck. I wanted an open world RPG all along.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is, if they take example of Ubisoft, then it doesn't matter that it's a single player RPG open world game or whatever. They're gonna find a way to fucking monetize it. So
Yeah,
that's
maybe.
so. I mean, Ubisoft sells XP boosters for Assassin's Creed games. Those are
Yeah,
single player.
that's not good.
So they've been doing that since at least Unity. So if not longer than that. So, but that's why I'm kind of on the fence because, I don't know a lot about this game. Not a lot has been revealed.
Well,
So,
let's go ahead and watch some videos and see what we can find out here.
alright. You gonna share the screen or?
Oh, yeah, hold on.
I mean, I can watch on my screen, but I want to know where you pause so we stay at least on the same kind of moment or whatever.
Right. Okay, you got it?
Yeah, okay, 720p. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds like Harry. Oh wait, I'm ahead of you. Oops. Sorry. I'm trying to match it, and it's not working out.
Right.
Yeah, he sounds like Harry, like Daniel Radcliffe or whatever his name is.
Kinda, yeah.
I mean, visually it looks very cool, and I hope that it meets the expectations, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I pretty much agree.
Outriders also looked pretty cool, so.
Yeah. God, I just want to go to Hogwarts.
You're a new student at the
Here's the thing. Can we pause for a second?
Yeah.
With a unique ability to manipulate.
Okay. One thing I am right off the bat not particularly happy with is that they're using Hogwarts. If you look at 108 marker timestamp, oops, not 108, 112. Sorry. They're using Hogwarts from the third movie on. And I like the first and second movie Hogwarts better because it's more canonical. I feel like the first two movies Hogwarts just hit the spot with how they designed the castle. And after that, because every movie, because I think it's because the first two movies stayed consistent with how Hogwarts was.
Right.
While between the third and the eighth movie, even the exterior of Hogwarts constantly freaking changed. Like that clock was there in the third movie and I think fourth movie, but then in the fifth they removed it.
Huh.
So, or whatever that is on the tower. Looks like a clock.
I never really noticed. I guess I didn't pay that much attention to the
Yeah, so for
outside.
me, I was kind of hoping for the first second movie canonical kind of castle look. I don't know.
Yeah, but this is probably more recognizable since if it was in more of the movies, you know what I mean?
It just shows how old I am.
Yeah, well, remember the first movie came out in what, 2001?
2001. I was 11 years old when it came out. Yep.
Oh yeah, yep.
Feel old yet?
Yep. Okay.
All right, let's continue.
You're a new student at the
I like that main hall or whatever it is. I'm gonna turn off the sound on mine.
In the wizarding world, you'll need to uncover what's behind the return of this forgotten magic and who is seeking to harness it to destroy wizard kind, as you may be the one that decides the fate of the entire wizarding world. But before you can study magic and begin to solve these mysteries,
yeah, that looks good.
Create the witch or wizard you want to be.
But I'm so
Ooh.
excited to create
When you arrive
a
Slytherin,
blue-haired
Slytherin,
wizard.
Slytherin.
Oh, come on.
They better not put me in like Hufflepuff. I will flip out.
Dude, okay.
Oh, look
So
at that Slytherin. Oh, you paused. Sorry.
yeah,
That
sorry.
Slytherin common room looks sick. Yeah.
Yeah, so when
depressed.
if I was placed into a Hogwarts house now.
You're breaking off, by the way. What did you say?
I said if I was placed into a Hogwarts house now, I might be Slytherin, but definitely when I was a kid, I definitely would have been Gryffindor for sure.
I would, based on my personal aspiration, I would probably want to be in Slytherin, but chances are I'd probably end up in Ravenclaw because I'm a brainiac.
Yeah,
I like to read and like this whole intelligence and shit. I'd probably be in Ravenclaw.
Is that how you get into Ravenclaw? Be like, I'm intelligent and shit, man.
Well, each house has its own traits that each wizard or witch have, and that's how the hat determines it.
Right.
So
I think that if I was in Slytherin, there's no way I would have made friends. Like I would have hated all the other Slytherin kids.
I don't know. That'd be Malfoy's gang.
Yeah.
But well, I'm ambitious to a degree, and that's one of the qualities for Slytherin.
That's true.
But I'm also a brainiac, which means I would probably end up in Ravenclaw, which I always actually had a problem with Hermione being in Gryffindor, because she would fit more into Ravenclaw, actually, like by her nature.
Yeah, definitely.
But here's a fun fact, though. Completely unrelated to the game, but I've actually been to the parts of real Hogwarts Castle.
What do you mean?
Yeah. I mean, I've been to a place where the first 2 movies were filmed. I've been to an actual Hogwarts Castle. I've been to the Great Hall, and if you remember the scenes with the staircase that they come up where they first meet McGonagall,
right? Where
Harry first meets Malfoy and McGonagall.
Yep.
Those stairs and all that. Yeah, I've been there. So I've been to real Hogwarts.
That's really cool. Okay, I'm gonna hit play on the video.
After you settle into your dormitory, you will meet up with your
that looks sick.
in a common room.
Yeah,
You will then
wow.
attend classes, and you do have some catching up to do, as you were starting Hogwarts late as a 5th year.
I think there was a Hufflepuff house that looked really
I
good.
think so.
Charms, defense
A
against
common
the
room
dark
there.
arts,
Looks very
herbology,
cozy.
and potions classes, to name a few.
Oh, hello, class.
Oh, that sink, mouse sink is awful.
Yeah, that's true.
Shall we begin? Welcome to year 5 of charms. Now, this will be a crucial year in your education on the art of charm work.
Who the hell is
But
that?
I am confident that we will take hold with the passion and rigor requisite of such a challenge.
I'm pretty sure this is a long time before Harry Potter, so all the teachers will be different.
It's set in the 1800s, I think.
Yeah. That office is recognizable though.
Yeah, there's defense against the dark arts.
Yep.
Not bad for a beginner.
Oh my god, that mouse, that lip sync is awful.
Yeah.
Here you'll meet your professors and learn to cast spells, grow magical plants, brew potions, and more. In between
Oh, that looks
classes,
sick,
you'll
that
be able to
that
explore
yard?
the castle
Yeah,
filled
true.
with
Damn, that looks so
secrets,
good.
enchantments, and mysteries.
It gives me memories of playing the first 3 games. Those old ones, Harry Potter.
As well as
Oh,
challenging
Lord.
puzzles that will require magical skill and a clever mind to solve.
just
Yeah, I
realized
think
something.
the spell puzzles are going to be really
You
cool.
may even find yourself in iconic locations you've never been able to explore before.
Have you ever played the original games?
No, I never did.
Oh, that's
The
why
late
you don't.
1800s, so while the
They
common
had those
rooms and
same
classes may be
puzzles
familiar,
and shit.
most
It
of
was
your
so
professors will
annoying
not
to a
be.
degree.
Oh, okay.
You may recognize a few faces.
All in good.
Oh, that's Nick.
Once
Yeah.
Patrick lets me join the headless
Doesn't sound like John Cleese though.
No.
Is sure to win them over.
Don't forget why I'm here, sir.
You'll come to know this eclectic group of talented witches and wizards.
Yeah, he
in
definitely
class
sounds like
and
Daniel
while completing
Radcliffe.
Side assignments that are part of a special curriculum.
He wasn't
One
voiced by
designed
him,
to
was
help you
he?
catch up with
I
the
don't
other
know.
fifth years
Because that
at
would
your
suck
own speed.
balls.
Lumos.
Opportunities for adventure abound in the area surrounding Hogwarts. The magical abilities you learn to master through your schoolwork will soon become tested as you unravel.
Can I go to
a
London and
dangerous
terrify the
mystery by
Muggles?
working alongside the accomplished
Yeah, maybe.
and yet enigmatic Professor Fig to try and discover if the rumors of a mounting goblin rebellion hold any weight, and if the safety of Hogwarts lies in the balance.
I have. Opinions differ as to how great a threat he really is.
Oh, they want me to believe that a goblin and a wizard can go toe to toe with each other?
Capable of so
Please.
much more than people realize.
Yeah, maybe he's
The
special.
world of this era is fraught with dangers. Creatures corrupted by a magical force, powerful goblins, and sinister witches and wizards, all willing to fight, even kill, to achieve their own goals.
Are they telling me that
There's an
Avada
uneasy
Kedavra will be
alliance between
available?
the goblins
I'm
and
pretty
dark
sure.
wizards.
Oh, it would be sweet, a burrito.
I'll
go terrorize Gryffindors.
I gave you a distraction.
I just watched a student take down your distraction. Who is this child? Are you not telling me?
But perhaps you shouldn't involve yourself.
I'm confused. Can we pause for a second?
Yep.
Okay, so this section we just watched had really good lip sync
Mm-hmm.
and really good like micro expressions,
Right.
but before that it was atrocious.
It could have been from different stages and development, or like the different parts of the game could have been at different stages of development.
I
Whenever
understand,
they
but they
recorded.
did a yeah, I think that if they did a state of play, official gameplay, blah blah blah, they should have stuck to a specific stage of said state of play, not from different stages. So because it creates a jarring difference.
Yeah,
Because
that's fair.
one part like they show and it's really well done, like really good. I don't know if it's a cutscene or not, but the other two instances where professors were talking and that one girl or whoever the heck she was in the greenhouse, their lip sync totally didn't match. It's like they were just opening mouth and noises were coming out.
Right. Yeah. No, I saw that too. So I don't necessarily have an explanation. I was just spitballing ideas, but yeah, that is
no,
pretty strange.
But that just, I find that kind of like in your face obvious. So I'm kind of questioning the decision behind whoever made this or approved it.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe not a good decision.
Alright.
Hitting play. Ooh, that's cool.
Watching this gives me vibes like we're going to hunt Horcruxes or something.
Yeah, that is kind of what it's like. But you know why?
Okay, I call this
Hold on.
bullshit and a half. Okay, that
Hold on.
scene, that scene you have right there is bullshit.
Why?
That right there is called Priori Incantatum.
Right. And,
That
and
ca-
I
that-
know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
Okay, so Priori Incantatum is an event that can only be created if those two wands are, proverbially speaking, relatives.
Right. They
Which
share
was-
a core, or share
Yes.
a core source, rather.
Yes, that's why it was such a unique case in the fourth movie or fourth book.
Right. Because it
whichever.
almost never happens historically.
Yeah. So it was just such a unique case. And after that, because it looks cool, they started shoving it left, right, and center in the freaking movies, and the game parrots this. So unless those two guys, excuse me, unless those two guys have the same case as it was between Voldemort and Harry Potter, I call that same bullshit.
Well, I think that they probably will say it's the same deal. And it is kind of bullshit to have that in the game. but you kind of have to expect it because that's one of the big like iconic scenes from the movies. So of course they're going to, I'm not saying they should, but of course they're going to include it, you know?
But yeah, because it's such a unique case that I feel like they're all borderline retconning lore, and I have a problem with that.
Yeah,
so
but
that better have an explanation.
Right. Hopefully they come out in the game and say, oh, it's the, you know, our wands share a core, and, you know, hopefully they don't just act like that's what always happens when you use Expelliarmus against Avada Kedavra.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just like, it's just weird.
Yeah, I definitely understand your feelings there.
So, all right, you wanted to say something? Sorry, because I interrupted you and I went on a rant.
No, I think I said pretty much everything. Just that I mean, I agree with you, but I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? They're writing on the books, or they're writing on the movies, which are writing on the books. So it's like a progression of how do we make money, and this is, you know, an iconic scene from the movies, basically. So of course they're going to use it if they can.
Okay. I don't know if that was used in the Fantastic Beasts or whatever, because I never watched those movies.
No.
Never had intention to.
No, they're actually really good, but they're totally different.
I never had intention to, and like, I don't know, it's just something about those movies just does not sit well.
Oh, you should, man, because it's totally outside the normal realm of like all the Harry Potter stuff. I mean, Dumbledore is in it, but it's really its own thing. I enjoyed them a lot. They're really, really funny. And the main character,
maybe one day.
Yeah, the main character, Newt Scamander, he's the guy that wrote the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them book that they use in class in Hogwarts. And he's a very likable character. He's a very, like, really nice, good kind of character. So I like him a lot.
Maybe I just don't like Eddie Redmayne. I don't. But something about that movie just said, like, I don't know, like.
Well, you like
maybe
animals.
Because I'm just, well, yeah, I do, but I think that maybe I'm so picky about traditional Harry Potter stories or lore or what have you, that adding this completely new outlook, I would say, on it is just it's kind of hard to come to terms with it or something. I don't know. I feel like maybe, I don't know, fear of seeing retcons or something like that.
Right, I understand. And I might not be quite as knowledgeable as you, but I think I'm pretty damn close. But I am less picky. But I didn't see anything that triggered in my mind of like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. And I think a big part of that is just because it's set way before, you know, timeline wise, and it's almost entirely new cast.
Okay, what timeline is Fantastic Beasts set in? What year?
Oh, now I can't remember. I want to say it's like the early 1900s.
Okay, so the game is set even before then.
Right, yes.
Because the game is set in 1800s.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it would, you know what?
Fantastic Beasts is also mostly in America, or at least the first one is, which is really cool.
I think I just thought about it. I think you know what would be cool if they set this game in the generation of Harry's parents, for us to see, or you know, for us to see like James and Lily and Snape, you know, like experience their story. I think that would be so dope.
Yeah, that would have been cool. I think his parents went to school in what, the 60s? Because Harry, the events of the book took place in what, the 80s, right?
Harry was born in
69, 81? I think. No.
Oh, wait. Or did he go to school in 81? Let me see.
I think he went to school in 81. Can you look it up real quick?
Because I will.
Because I never realized until he saw his parents' tombs or gravestones, I never realized the timeline of the book.
Because you know, well, because we grew up with Harry in what, 2000s. So for me, he was born in 89.
Right,
So,
but it's I'm pretty sure I remember thinking he's born around the same time as my dad, I think.
He was born July 31st, 1980.
1980?
Yeah, that's what I thought, that he was around my husband's age. Actually.
Huh.
But yeah, he was born July
Okay.
31st, 1980. And fun fact, Daniel Radcliffe was born July 31st, 1989.
Yeah, he's like
they
2
share-
weeks
they share-
younger than me.
They share a birthday. He shares
Yeah.
birthday with Harry.
Yeah, and I was July 14th, so like
Yeah.
2 weeks younger than him. Or older than him. All right, I'm going to hit play on this video.
Okay.
Enemies possess unique defensive and offensive
Ooh.
abilities.
It's a pretty
including
cool
casting
combat.
curses,
Yeah.
stun spells, enchanted weaponry,
Although
and more. While some may
he
attack
looks like he's
directly,
wielding a freaking
others might
sword rather
enchant
than
and incapacitate.
kind of weird.
True.
But
Mastery
pretty
of
cool.
the shield charm
Yeah.
allows you to deflect ranged spells and direct weapon strikes.
I see this combat and I'm thinking, how long will it take modders in Skyrim to bring
allowing
that
you
to
follow up
Skyrim?
with extended spell combinations.
Yeah, not long, probably.
Students who become particularly adept at spellcasting will find many ways to exploit their enemy's weakness.
That was a cool dodge. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's actually a pretty fun gameplay.
With Descendo,
Yeah.
roast
I wonder if it has
with
auto aim though or not.
devastate your enemies
Yeah, I
using
think it
various
would pretty
finishes.
much have to.
You can even
You
use
select a
various
target and
powerful
then
magic
use
your
whatever
professors
spells
do
you've
not
got
understand
equipped.
to obliterate your strongest foes.
Although it's cool dodge and shit. I kind of feel like it's borrowing from the Death Eaters and the opposing team, the Order of the Phoenix, because they were like the little white and black clouds in the movies.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not super worried about that, though.
Perhaps you'd be good enough to blast each other to pieces on your own time.
In addition to classes and spells, you'll have access to a deep set of upgrades, talents, and skills to aid your progression as a wizard.
That looks cool.
Complete challenges
Yeah, well,
throughout the
having a
world to gain
class system
experience.
is
Level up your
really
abilities by
cool.
choosing talents to upgrade your spells, plants,
Oh,
and
goodness.
potions to increase their power.
Becoming
Decide which talents
invisible,
best
go
fit
stick
your
that
playstyle
Yeah.
to
But
allow
that-
you to
that-
focus
that
on your
magic
favorite
wand one
types of
place.
magic. You can also loot, buy,
Assassin's
or
Creed
craft your
Hogwarts.
own magical gear
mm-hmm.
that will increase your offensive and defensive capabilities in combat.
Ooh, I like that.
Gear can be upgraded and specialized to allow for greater abilities for your chosen playstyle.
Use a strong, even motion when cutting your ingredients.
Ooh. Listen, I'm not gonna leave potions class, I'm telling you.
Yeah. That'd be
Spells are
fun.
not the only tools at your disposal in combat. As you hone your wand skills, you can continue
Damn,
to
that
further
looks
your
sweet.
magical education at Hogwarts, progressing your development as a witch or wizard. Brew potions that can increase your power when you need a boost. Grow and deploy magical plants to mob the battlefield and keep your enemies at bay.
You can be a plant user.
You can
Yes,
even unleash
you
deadly
use the
magic
mushrooms to
seedlings
attack
to
everybody.
incapacitate
The
unsuspecting
Oh, that's a
Mandrake.
Mandrake. Mandrake or
In this
Mandragora.
class, you will learn about a variety of
I know
magical
that speech
beasts
by
you might
heart.
encounter, both at school and as you explore the world surrounding the castle and its grounds.
The goal
Oh,
of
that's
today
cute.
is to remind all of you how to maneuver on a broomstick.
Yep.
That would be cool. I hope it doesn't have what all the games had to learn that damn thing.
Travel around the world more quickly.
I want you to do my herbology homework.
You're despicable.
Some abilities may be
Okay,
taught to you by students who
don't mean to
become
be
your
that dirty
friends.
person,
As As you
But
develop
that did not
relationships
sound
with these
right.
schoolmates,
Right.
they can accompany you on your journey as your companions.
Ooh, a companion system.
And over time, you'll learn their stories.
This is our chance.
Why does she look like a girl from
Sapphire
Polar
is a brave
Express?
adventurer driven by
I
the
don't know.
justice she seeks. Poppy Sweeting has a kind heart and loves magical beasts, connecting with them more
so
easily
cute.
than with humans.
What happens now?
Unafraid of detention or breaking the rules,
Oh, that's Peeves.
Yeah.
is Sebastian Sallow, a charismatic Slytherin
We've been over this, boy. Hufflefigs cannot reverse a curse.
with a troubling family secret.
Nothing can. The sooner you accept that reality, the better.
You'll meet these students and more as you explore common rooms, hallways between classes, and regular gathering areas.
Welcome to the Room of Requirement.
Oh, that's cool.
Sweet. Yeah.
One of the most remarkable secrets of Hogwarts is known as the Room of Requirement.
And you can decorate it.
Oh,
You're
that's gonna
introduced
be
to
like
this
player
space that
housing, I
seems to
bet.
sense what you
Basically.
need and then provides it for you. Since you need to catch up to your peers, the room provides space for you to sow and harvest plants, brew potions, and upgrade your gear.
Gives me Monster Hunter World vibes.
A helpful house elf named Deke helps you discover vivariums that allow you to nurture your own menagerie of magical beasts.
What is it?
I can have a zoo?
Only one way to find out.
You
Basically,
can
yeah.
freely customize this space to reflect your
Holy
personality and
shit.
magical special.
Yeah, so I need to explain this. Sorry, I just paused it. I need to explain this because you have not seen the Fantastic Beasts movie. So
Okay.
in that movie, he's got a briefcase, but it's one of those magical things where you open it and there's a ladder inside going down into a magic space. And when he goes down, he's got like a whole
Okay, so it's similar to what the Mad-Eyed Moody had.
kind of, yeah.
Okay.
But he had like a whole like habitat in there for all his different animals and stuff. So that's basically what this is. It's like a little tiny building and you go down in there somehow and there's going to be like a whole zone inside, basically, is what it looks like.
Sounds very claustrophobic.
And this will be even more like player housing because you see this guy placing a cottage.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, very exciting. All right,
I'm kind of hoping that you can maybe select the surrounding. Like
maybe. I have no idea.
That would be nice.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to hit play.
Uh-huh.
Difficulties.
Oh, that looks neat.
Oh, he's brushing the cat.
Not everything you need on your journey is available at Hogwarts. You'll want to visit the nearby wizarding village of Hogsmeade, where loads of shops and vendors can provide you with the supplies you require.
That looks cooler than the real thing, I gotta
Potion
tell ya.
ingredients and recipes, to seeds for magical plants, to all sorts of gear.
Oh, Jesus.
But Hogsmeade
Those
also
hats,
has
though.
its
Yeah.
Oh my god.
A band of dark witches and wizards, emboldened by the turmoil of the times, wander the village outskirts.
The bad guy looks like Colin
You
Farrell.
must avoid them
Yeah.
or defeat them. As you explore, you'll find the world surrounding Hogwarts is alive with activity, wonders, and areas of unusual interest. As the school year progresses, dynamic seasons and climates will fill the sky with lightning or sunshine, or coat the ground with snow or rain. Unique wizarding hamlets pepper the countryside, each with vendors and residents who have stories to tell, and missions with which they could use your assistance. Be on the lookout for enchanting magical puzzles that may very well have been designed by Merlin himself when he was a student at Hogwarts.
That's cool.
Magical beasts.
That's
roam
when
the
Merlin
lands
exists in
outside
the
castle
universe.
walls. Some have been corrupted by a
always.
mysterious dark.
Oh wait, hold on, I'm pausing it. You remember?
Don't recall Merlin ever being mentioned before.
Do you remember that Dumbledore? At one point when they're going over Dumbledore's accolades, one of his accolades is that he has received like the first order of Merlin.
Yeah, I know that, you know, the title exists, but they never revealed the existence of Merlin as a human, like as a actual character living. They have Merlin's beard expression and all that,
Yeah, true.
but they never revealed or talked about or anything like that about Merlin like an actual person. Like I would
Yeah.
have, I can like I understand that say Godric Gryffindor existed in that universe, but that was never revealed in any case, shape, or form that Merlin existed. So far, it's just an expression.
Well, right.
Just a
Well, I
name.
think we knew that he existed, but not necessarily that he went to the school, because in my mind, Merlin probably would have predated the Hogwarts founders.
Possibly.
But I guess not. I don't know, because I
it's
don't
just-
think that there's anything in the books that would directly contradict that. So I guess
No,
they
but
could say that.
But it's also nothing in the book suggests that Merlin actually existed.
Yeah.
So that's
All right.
that's one thing that.
Yeah. I would have played.
Mhm.
Magic, while others are at risk of poachers and
Oh, those are cute.
traps. If
Yeah.
you're feeling benevolent, you can rescue them and restore them to health in the Room of
Oh
Requirement.
boy, it's Pokemon hunting all over again.
Yeah.
Dangers beyond your understanding in the world as well. Dungeons and vaults hold perilous threats and also untold rewards. Be careful where you choose to explore, as it may lead you down a darker path.
Yeah, you can use it.
Master spells.
Good.
Befriend
Cool.
new allies. Journey across a landscape never seen before. Uncover ancient secrets. Combat mystical threats. Learn long-forgotten mysteries. Become the witch or wizard you want to be as you leave your unique mark on the wizarding world. Here, in Hogwarts Legacy.
So, I have questions. about
Okay,
this.
what's your questions?
So the entirety of base game for Hogwarts Legacy set in 1 year of your school year, right?
I think it's 2,
Okay.
because you start in your 5th year, and I believe that you go through your 7th year and then can just leave school, or maybe I'm not 100% sure if they really clarified on that. Maybe you're just in your 5th year the entire time, but you can just leave school when you want to go on adventures. I'm not
I was gonna
100%.
say because I'm a stickler for lore and rules and that John Rowling created.
Right.
So if this is just 1 year, you technically cannot leave school until the year is over. But the state of play suggests you can, which
Right.
is violation of school rules, which is there a punishment system in the game?
Yeah, I don't know.
But
Maybe.
additionally, say if it's multiple years, say it's 5th and 6th year, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are forbidden to use magic on your vacation. If you're away from school, you're forbidden to use magic until you are 17.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know why I said 2. It's it would be 5th, 6th, and 7th. So yeah, there would be 3
Even
years.
even if it's 3 until the wizard turns
Or
17.
unless this is before that was a law. Do you know what year that law was made?
Well,
The
no, those are
statute
school rules.
of-
Well, laws and school
No.
rules.
The,
A lot of it depends what year Dumbledore was born, because a lot of laws were written by Dumbledore,
True.
especially for the underage wizardry, because that's what he
Right.
states in Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think it was a school rule. I think it was mostly a law that might not have been written yet at this time. I'm
So,
thinking
but-
because of the time period that it's set in, you might have a lot more freedom than like a 1980s student.
I mean, you
You know what I
can
mean?
find plot holes in this because if you look at, okay, so they say you are underage, you cannot use magic,
Mm-hmm.
but you live in a family with adult wizards. How can Ministry of Magic tell who actually used the spell? Did they have like a freaking
there's
GPS on you? So
Yeah,
like
basically.
it's a lot of plot holes because if
Well,
you
no,
look at
that one
the
in particular is explained though. There's a tracer spell on everybody.
that was never explained in the books. No, I
Yeah,
mean
that's
like
in.
they had the law, but they never explicitly said that they trace you somehow. They traced Harry because Harry in the 5th book was not in presence of another wizard. So hence they realized it's him. First of all, it was set up by Ambridge. That's beside the point. They were able to trace him because he was not in surrounding of a wizard. However, if
Right.
you look at, say, the Weasleys, there's like, what, 9 of them?
Right.
How can, and it was never explained, how can Ministry of Magic tell if the spell was cast by Ron or by Mrs. Weasley? They are in the same area.
Yeah, I think in that instance, they're depending on the parents to just not let their kids do illegal shit at home.
That's a lot of plot holes. So, but yeah, if the
Yeah,
Dumbledore was
you're
alive,
right, because in the second book, I remember Dobby used magic in Harry's house and Harry got in trouble for it. So you're right.
yep,
It's
so
like the
they
house
cannot,
is.
yeah, they cannot differentiate. So hence, you can find plot holes, but in general, if Dumbledore was already around, and if he was the one who wrote that law, it's big if, then that is weird. And then I don't know, if you were within your year, how come you're allowed to leave school grounds if you're not even allowed to go to Forbidden Forest?
Yeah. Well,
And to go to Hogsmeade, you need your parents' or guardians' permission.
Right, but once again, I think that you're going a lot off the books, which are set like 100+ years later. So, like, what I'm saying is, I think a lot of the rules are going to be different because of the time period.
That's the thing. If they explain it,
Right.
they are going off of the same source material I'm going off.
Right.
So
yeah.
unless they explain it within the game, I have a lot of questions.
Right, but we won't know until we get in the game and see, you know, how they explain it, or if they're just, I mean, well, how do you explain really that there's less rules? All they'll really say is what you can or can't do. You know, they can't come out and say, well, we have a lot less rules than 100 years from now. You know, that wouldn't make sense. So, but I'm sure they'll tell you what you can and can't do. Like, here's the school rules, and it's probably going to be a lot different if I had to guess. I mean, if you think even about like America in the 1800s, there was a lot less laws than there are now.
Well, yeah, but let's not go down that road.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All common rooms in Hogwarts Legacy. Man, that Slytherin. I like Slytherin room. Actually, like Hufflepuff looked really cozy, and I like Ravenclaw. But Slytherin is just dope.
Yeah, I really liked the Gryffindor one. As soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, I really might have to be Gryffindor. I mean, I grew up thinking I was a Gryffindor. It was only as an adult I started thinking maybe Slytherin or even Ravenclaw.
You know, if you ever decide to go back to Skyrim, there is a mod. I forgot the name of it by now, but it's basically somebody recreated a Hogwarts. They changed names and they changed kind of like the looks of the house animals and what have you.
Right.
But they essentially created Hogwarts in Skyrim, and you can attend it as a you know, as a student and whatnot. They give you robes and all, and then they actually added, so you start in Hogwarts and you can go to Forbidden Forest and fight like giant spiders and wolves or what have you. But then you can venture into the Great Northern Wall from Game of Thrones, and some other place, not Narnia, but I think Percy Jackson. And that mod is awesome. I mean, like, if you ever decide to play Skyrim just for the hell of it, just install that mod.
Oh, I think I lost you.
Mod and try it out. It's fun. Oh.
Okay. Your audio went out for a couple seconds there.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all
But
good.
yeah,
Just
and they
clip that out.
did also like common rooms and stuff like that. So if you ever decide to play Skyrim again, that's while you're waiting for this game.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Are you ready to watch this one?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Hitting
been
play.
5 months since we picked up the Hogwarts Legacy State of Play trailer, with Chandler Wood, community manager, stating on Twitter back in May that the Warner Brothers and Avalanche team will be releasing some pretty cool stuff later on this summer, which is actually right around the corner as summer ends around the 23rd of September. But with that said, while we're waiting for our next official showcase, that doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of new information to talk about. So I'm going to take you through 5 recent rumors and leaks which are worth discussing and are pretty solid in my opinion. So let's first start with the release date, because I reckon we'll be seeing Hogwarts Legacy releasing on Tuesday the 6th of December, which I know is a pretty bold statement to make, but let me walk you through
December.
why I think that, and that's because
Hey,
the
if it's
official
6th of
Hogwarts
December,
Legacy
it's
art book,
very
which is
close to my
currently available
birthday.
for pre-order on Amazon, and I'll leave a link below so you can check it out yourself, has recently had its release date changed from December the 31st to December the 6th. Now the reason why this is interesting is because placeholder dates such as the 31st of December are placed on pre-order products like this by retailers when they haven't been informed of an official release date by the studio. These placeholder dates are usually end of a quarter or end of the month until they hear something official from that game studio in question, and the retailer will either keep that quarterly date in place or keep pushing the date back quarter by quarter until they hear something concrete and know when they're going to receive inventory for that pre-order item in question. Now this hasn't been the case here. In fact, it's been moved forward by 3 weeks, which is a positive sign in my opinion, but we can go a step further here on why Tuesday the 6th of December is looking solid for release, and that's because Warner Brothers likes to release their new games on Tuesdays, with 2 recent examples of this being Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, which released on Tuesday the 5th of April, and the upcoming Gotham Knights game scheduled for Tuesday, October the 25th. In fact, Gotham Knights also has a collector's art book available for pre-order ahead of the game's release, which just so happens to be released on the same date that the game does become available to play, that of course being Tuesday the 25th of October that we just mentioned. So it could be very plausible that WB is using the same marketing strategy for Hogwarts Legacy as they are for Gotham
The
Knights.
gameplay
And
looks
there's a
so
lot more
much like
comparisons we can
Spider-Man.
pull from that upcoming
Yeah,
No
pretty
joke.
much.
such as their game editions that are available for pre-order, as Hogwarts Legacy has recently had their own game editions leak in their source code on their website, and I'm going to break that all down for you fully in just a moment. But before I do, I want to bring your attention to one pre-order bonus leaked from that source code entry, which states that if you do pre-order the digital deluxe or collector's editions, you'll get early access to the game 72 hours
God, I hate
before
when
it
they
goes
do that.
public. And
I
this
don't
lends
care.
itself really nicely to that Tuesday, December the 6th release date, meaning it will go on full sale on Friday, so people who don't pre-order the game can play it at the weekend, and that will be 3 days after the early access launches. Now you may have noticed that this game isn't a PlayStation exclusive, but rather it's going to be available across most platforms on release, but it does seem to be getting the attention of a PlayStation exclusive game, such as State of Play showcases, as well as DualSense controller trailers from PlayStation on YouTube. And in fact, during Sony's latest corporate strategy meeting, according to Game Rant, Sony CEO Mr. Yoshida said on stage that we really value our relationships with third-party studios. And while he was saying this,
Hoping
there were a
that
number
because
of game
it's
logos on the
such
screen behind
heavily
him,
featured
such as
for
Avatar: Frontiers of
PlayStation
Pandora,
that
and
the game will
interestingly,
have an
Hogwarts Legacy. Now, the reason
built-in
why I mentioned this is because it
DualShock
does seem to nod to a
visual
very strong
menu type of
partnership
deal
between
instead of
Sony
being
and the
just
Warner Brothers
Xbox.
team, even if a deal
Yeah, I
hasn't been
think
made
so.
public or anything that we're kind of privy to. But with all that in mind, Sony wouldn't want to release Hogwarts Legacy too close to their PlayStation exclusive God of War Ragnarok game, which is due to release on November the 9th. Doing so would risk cannibalizing the market share of each game, as I would say that interest for both games is absolutely sky high at the moment, and this is why Tuesday the 6th of December makes even more sense for a Hogwarts Legacy release, because it would be 1 month after God of War, which could be seen as enough time for gamers to finish that game, replenish their wallets, and dive into Hogwarts in the run-up to Christmas. Now, as I mentioned at the start of the video, Chandler said that we will be picking up something very tasty before summer ends, and I think this is
I
where
love
we're
how
gonna
they
find
have
out
the
release date
house
amongst a
badges by
larger
the
gameplay showcase.
community
And a
manager's
little bit
name.
of speculation from me here, but what better date for that announcement to happen than on the 1st of September, which is a monumental day in the Wizarding World calendar, as it's when students return to Hogwarts for a new term and catch the very famous Hogwarts Express from King's Cross. And by the way, before we do go over all of the leaked game editions, if you are enjoying the video so far, please do leave a very swift like down below. It really helps me out on YouTube, so thank you very much. Now, a few weeks ago, O Pale Element posted an amazing find on Reddit, that being a list of the suspected game editions for Hogwarts Legacy in their source code on their website. Now, this info was uploaded by the
Can
Warner
somebody
Brothers
tell me
web
if there's a
design
cash
team,
shop
by the way,
attached to
so
this?
no unofficial bamboozles here.
That's what I want to know.
As it gets in terms of leaks. However, this has now since been removed by Warner Brothers, but not until we were able to grab the provisional website layout pictures thanks to Battle-BR on Reddit. And we have 3 here. We've got the standard, the digital deluxe, and the collector's edition that were on show. And for reference, this is the same pre-order offering that WB have been offering.
They have
fans
cosmetic
for some of
pack,
their most
which
recent games,
kind of
such
tells
as the
me that it might
Skywalker
be.
Saga, which was
Yeah,
released
I think
with the
so.
digital deluxe edition and came with the exclusive Lego figure, as well as Gotham Knights, which is currently running with the same tiered pre-order template that has a variety of different bonuses with each edition tier. And let's break down the Hogwarts editions in detail now, because each edition comes with a base game, as you'd expect, and with the standard edition not currently showing anything else in terms of a pre-order bonus, I reckon that's going to change once it's been officially announced, as I've also got a feeling that the standard pre-order bonus will be the Kelpie robe, which is included in the deluxe and collector's edition. And I say this because O'Pale mentions in his Reddit post that this particular item has been separated in the source code from the other rewards, which is very intriguing indeed, because WB have done something similar with a pre-order bonus in Gotham Knights, where you could pick up the 233 custom bat cycle for pre-ordering.
Care what
even if it's
happens
just
in
the standard
Gotham Knights,
edition.
dude?
Otherwise, there's not actually much incentive.
Yeah,
to
he
pre-order
is
the
spending a
standard
lot of
base
time
game
talking about
if
that
you just
game.
get the game at retail
Like,
price
I don't
and
give a
nothing
flying
else. And if you're
F's
wondering
about
what the
it,
Kelpie
just
robe
stop.
may
Yeah.
be, by the way, well, the Kelpie is a shape-shifting water demon native to the British Isles, and we actually see Newt Scamander riding one in the Crimes of Grindelwald film. So a robe based on this Kelpie itself sounds absolutely awesome in my opinion. Now, next up in the
Well,
deluxe
yes, very
and
awesome. You're
collector's
gonna be
edition
wearing
is the Thestral Mount. And I'm very
a
interested to
bunch
see
of
how
like
this will affect the game if we
kelp.
do pick
I don't
these
know.
up on
Kelp,
day one,
yeah.
because in the magical world, you're only able to see a
Gilly
Thestral
mental.
if you've witnessed death at least once. So that lays down some
Oh, that's
interesting
cute.
storyline questions for us in terms
Although
of
I don't
what
really
our
care for
protagonist has been
Thestrals.
doing or has seen before
Give me my
starting Hogwarts
hippogriff.
in our 5th year. We also pick up a Dark Arts cosmetic pack, a garrison hat, and access to the battle arena. And first thing that pops into my mind when I hear battle arena is some sort of area where we're going to be able to practice our spell slinging skills outside of the main storyline, inside some sort of procedurally generated area with respawning enemies, similar to the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order battle arena mechanic that we did see in that game. Now, it does
So
stop
he's
there
making
for
a
the
lot of
deluxe edition, but in
assumptions
the
based on
collector's
other
edition, We
games.
also seem to pick up a steel case, and if you're also wondering what that is, I reckon it may have similarities to the Skywalker Sagas Steelbook pre-order
I don't
bonus.
mean- I don't
Most
mean
of this
that.
video is I know
Collector's
nothing, but I
edition steelbook case,
know
which is
about
designed
these
to
other
house
games.
your
So
But I
gold
can-
maybe.
I
very
can
nice on your
speculate.
shelf. On top of that, there's reference to a floating ancient magic wand with
Now
a
that
book,
sounds cool.
and I think this is our physical collector's exclusive item because we've seen similar Harry Potter merch like this before. You can actually purchase a floating magnetic
That looks cheap
broomstick,
as
which is
hell.
actually a pen, as well as a wand which does the same
Oh, it's
thing.
for the
So
folks, though.
following suit with the Gotham Knights and
Eh.
Skywalker pre-order bonuses,
here we go with
both
Gotham
have
Knights
physical
again.
items upon
No-
purchase.
nothing
I
beats
think we're
my,
gonna get something similar
Lucius
here.
Malfoy's
Chandler also
walking
confirmed
stick.
earlier on in this year that there will be no microtransactions
pretty cool.
in this game.
Oh, no
I can't see these
microtransactions.
in-game rewards being offered
Yay,
months after the
good.
game's release
Now
for
don't
any sort
back
of
on your
money,
word,
unless they
please.
decide to release them for free. So you either pre-order the game, get the items, or don't pre-order at all, and then you just don't have any chance to get them ever again. But let's just wait and see what they decide.
Why
to
don't you
do.
just make them
Now, speaking of
obtainable for
DLCs,
fucking
or otherwise
gameplay?
known as downloadable
Right.
content, even though we've just been discussing leaked DLC items, I briefly want to talk about expansion DLCs because quite a few of you have been asking about that in previous Hogwarts videos I've whipped up for you, and I'll link
Oh,
them at the end of
Jesus,
this
guys,
one
let
if
the
you
game
haven't yet watched
release
them and
first.
fancy a Hogwarts
Alright.
binge. But the straight up answer is we don't know yet if there will be any potential game expansions or DLCs
Sells
after the
well, it
initial
will be.
base game is released. Now, I personally think there will be,
Yeah,
as
I mean, if
interest in
it's-
the game is significant.
if
and
it's
you
a
haven't
story-based
played
Based
I would
RPG.
prefer an
game
expansion
before, which
over
is
a
developed
DLC
by a
because
large studio that
expansion
has a
kind of
substantial
suggests
amount of resources.
more
A good example
to
here
it.
is WB themselves. They usually
Right.
continue to
Okay.
add
So
content.
here's the issue with when I think expansion, I think like for an MMO, you get new zones, new classes, maybe depending on the game, bunch of new stuff, and then DLC is more, I think, more like here's 2 new dungeons and some new gear or something like that. So for this game, they can't make new zones. Not really. I mean, maybe they kind of can, but it's
Again,
Earth.
it's kind of depends on where they're going with this game. So, for example, if the base game is say year 5 to 7, then they have to be doing something else. So in that case, the expansion would kind of suggest that
Like
there
Life
is
After Hogwarts?
there is like a whole life after Hogwarts with the new quest line where
Right.
you can choose maybe your profession. That would be neat. Like you
Dude.
can choose, like if you take all tests like students do, and then that pretty much like suggests that you have to choose your profession at that point.
Right.
And then the 6th and 7th year, your classes are based on preparing you for that job, which is kind of weird because what 15-year-old knows what they want to do in their life? I'm 32, I still don't know.
I mean, when I was like 15, I was all gung-ho about joining the military. And then I did. Like, I joined the military, and then I was like, well, that sucks.
But you say you're at 15, okay, it's like, let's take Harry, for example, right? He goes, oh, I want to be, was it dark, the Auror. Yes, he wants to be an Auror. Okay, where is the guarantee that by the time they're freaking 17, they don't change their mind 3 times or more? Like they will, because teenagers are extremely. They have 7 ways to Sunday, so like one day they will want to be one thing, and the next day they will wake up and like, oh yeah, I don't want to be that. I'll do something else. Like granted, when I was 16, I had to, kind of choose a direction, but like I have teaching degree, for example, but I don't want to teach. And the reasons why I went to a specific college were because they had the best foreign language program. That's the only freaking reason I went there. I could care less about teaching, but especially at school. It's like, I don't know, they're asking a 15-year-old to choose their entire career.
Right. And that's
And
kind
I'm
of the
like-
downfall of having all this take place in high school instead of college. Basically, they don't have college. You take specific classes your last 2 years, depending on what career you're going into. So you're right. I mean, because how many people in college change their major how many times,
But I think it would be really cool if this game like offered you to pick a job. Say you want to be an Aura or whatever, and then somehow that role would play part in an expansion in one way or the other somehow. I understand that it's a lot to variables to work out, but if they have set amount of or set choices for professions, I'm pretty sure that they can work it out through the writing. But I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Because it would allow you, it would be a truly RPG, in my opinion, because they would allow you to choose direction and play out a role that you want, in my opinion. Like, again, that's how I see RPGs, where they give you player choice and follow through with it.
Right.
Instead of forcing you to do a certain thing.
Yeah.
Especially
that's what I want too.
And like you have a custom character, so it would only make sense for them to offer you to, choose a life path for it.
Yeah.
So that would be cool if they did that.
That would be. All right, let's try to finish this video so we can wrap it up.
Yep.
Content years after a game's initial
He doesn't
release
talk
in the
more
form of
about Gotham
expansion
Knights.
and
Yeah, hopefully
game
not.
modes. Now, a good example of this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla, made
How
by
about
Ubisoft,
Assassin's
which
Creed?
was released in late 2020.
Valhalla
and has
is
since
an
gone on to
awful
release
game,
3
okay?
DLC
Like,
expansions off the back
Give
of
it a
never
break
played it.
already.
with the 4th DLC expansion being
I
released
did.
for free this week
What a
just gone,
disappointment that
and
was.
subsequently going on to make over $1 billion in the last 2 years. So I could certainly see WB and Avalanche doing the same
It
thing
had a
here with
cool
Hogwarts Legacy,
build up
as there's just a
initially,
huge
but then
amount of
after a
whizzing
certain
lore
arc
content
in
to
the
play
game
with,
just
as well
holds
as a
apart.
huge amount of interest from
Yeah.
fans and gamers alike. In
Oh, that's
fact,
cool.
ex-Hogwarts Legacy developer Troy Leavitt recently spoke to Alex at Podcast Now, and I'll link his awesome channel down below, but he said that he believes that WB and Avalanche have only focused directly on Hogwarts Legacy at present and haven't yet discussed it becoming a franchise as of yet. If it does become a success, then it would of course be a consideration, and that would
They don't
open
fuck
up the
it up, it will
possibility
be.
for future Hogwarts
Yeah.
games. For me though, let's wait and see again what they say about Hogwarts Legacy post-launch content soon, as I've got a feeling that they'll want to keep us fans engaged with continual updates over the next couple years until they decide to perhaps release a completely new game. Now, DLC expansions and new games aside, we've also picked up an in-game HUD or UI leak from the original State of Play trailer that has only recently been discovered by YouTuber Agito, and I'll link his channel and that video in particular down below in the description as well. But in this State of
The
Play
HUD is
trailer,
very
in
clean.
the bottom right hand corner of the screen, around 611 to 612, you'll be able to see 4 icons, 3 of which look like the visual graphic buttons of spells that you'll be able to cast in game. And shout out to Bubblesloo and Darkstar on the Photoshop edit here in the Hogwarts Legacy Discord, so we can kind of see it a little bit clearer. But that said though, I do think that these spell icons are temporary placeholders, because the 4th spell slot isn't even filled for a start, and I don't think this is necessarily what we're going to be seeing.
Maybe
in the
because they
final
just use
build of
that
the
spell?
game, because
Yeah.
only being able to
Kinda looks
equip
like a
4
cooldown.
spells seems very restrictive to me, and to draw comparisons to Assassin's Creed Valhalla once more, this layout is really quite similar to what we can see in that game, where you have
I mean,
4 ability
Assassin's
slots in a diamond
Creed,
format in both corners
well,
of
I'm
the
gonna
screen,
use Odyssey as
meaning
an
that you
example.
can
Actually,
bind
had a
8
decent
specific
UI.
abilities
I
to your
mean, I don't know.
controller.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that
It
there
was
will
not
be 8 spells in the
overloaded.
game, because in Valhalla
Right.
there's dozens of different abilities to choose from in the menus, but it does mean that after unlocking them and then trying
All
them
you
out
have to do is
yourself,
just press
you
a
can
freaking
pick 8
button to
abilities
choose
in
between the
particular that you
the
like to
two
play
or
with
whatever.
frequently as your kind of loadout per se. And I've got to say, after playing over 400 hours of that game with this ability binding system, I think that 8 spell slots during gameplay would be more than enough.
Or they
So if
could use
Hogwarts
a
was to do something
combination
similar
of
here,
key,
then that would be
like
absolutely
sort of like
fine by
Monster
me.
Hunter
Now, we
does.
do have some more
Right.
juicier insider leaks to break down here, thanks to
Ooh,
the fantastic
dungeons.
Hogwarts YouTuber Retro Raconteur, who it seems has been tipped off by a few people behind the scenes back in February and more recently about Quidditch. So link to his channel is of course down below in the description as well. And let's first talk about
Playing
some
Quidditch
of the
would be
things
cool.
that he was told back in
Hell yeah.
February, because a lot has changed since then, including the release of the State of Play trailer back in March. First of all, he was told that the developers
the
were
art
heavily
director is in
inspired by the
Hufflepuff.
level design of Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us Part 2, and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And these are all solid games to be taken influence from, in my opinion.
Oh my
So
god, I
big
can't
tick
believe
there.
that they
But number
put
2
two
was that
awesome
enemy
games
counts
in
will
line
be a
with
core part
Last of Us
gameplay
2.
involving combat, stealth, and exploration all
Okay.
playing a role within it. This lines up really nicely from what we've been shown so far, as there's several enemy camps that we can see in the trailer, as well as the utilization of new stealth mechanics in the game by using the Disillusionment Charm and the Petrificus Totalis spell to great effect in this example, as you can see here. Retro also went on to say that he was informed that the game would include a lot of dungeons, with an entire team at Avalanche Studios dedicated to designing these. And even though they haven't been officially confirmed as a game mechanic as of yet, we have seen plenty so far in the reveals to tell us that this will certainly be playing a huge role in the game. And I've got a feeling we'll be hearing a lot more about this soon, and I can envisage us
Dude
entering
talks
these
a
hidden dungeons
lot
where we'll have
about
to defeat bosses like
freaking
this Guardian
nothing.
and his minions, or
Yeah.
perhaps defeat constant swarms of Inferi. And once we do, we'll be able to pass through the final gates of the dungeon itself and pick up special rewards like new spells, abilities, storyline secrets, or special cosmetic items. Now, another fantastic Hogwarts YouTube channel
dungeons
is
would be
Expecto Go,
awesome,
with
though.
James recently whipping up a solid video about some of these dungeons being related to Merlin himself. So
Yeah, they
I'll
got the
pop
same
another
mic
link
as
down
me.
below, and you should definitely check out James and Sue's channel as well. Well worth your time. But dungeons aside, Retro went on to further say that he was told that there will be multiple regions across the world, with ex-developer Troy also mentioning in his Podcast Now interview with Alex that this game is, and I quote, a really, really big
It's
game.
one of
And
those
this also
videos
makes
I
sense
just cannot
from what
wait for the guy to
THV3 posted
finish.
on Reddit. He took a screenshot of the map shown in the behind-the-scenes trailer and expanded upon the coordinates placed there by Avalanche. He matched those coordinates block by block until reaching the 1x1 square space, which you can see on your screen here. And a good point to note, by the way, is that this is just the minimum size. It could be expanded beyond the 6x6 tile size, as shown here. here. So we're in for a big one with multiple regions. And what better way to get around this huge map than using the Flue Powder fast travel network, which Warner Bros did confirm on their Twitter
diagonally
account recently. And with a map so large, you'd expect local towns
End up
to be
in
there,
somehow
which is
Nocturnally.
exactly what Retro was told back in
Figure that
February
one.
as well. So apart from Hogsmeade Village and Diagon Alley, which have already been confirmed to be in the game by Warner Bros, and I'm just speculating here, but could we see
Diagon
the
Alley
wizarding
in,
towns of Bantry, Montrose, Wigtown,
Universal
or Portree,
Studios
which
is
are all
freaking
locations
awesome.
in Scotland? And if you didn't know,
I did
that's
not
where
want to leave
Hogwarts
that
is
store.
based, by the way. But
I
each
haven't
of those
been.
towns have their own Quidditch
Oh my
team,
god, that story is
respectively. So potential
amazing.
to
That
see them
entire,
compete
like, the
with
whole
this large
Diagon
map,
Alley,
I
the way they
reckon,
did
some
it
pretty
in
exciting possibilities
Orlando
here. And by the way, if you do want to keep up to date with everything
insane.
Hogwarts Legacy,
Like,
make sure you do subscribe so you can
literally
find video back
forget
here
you
easily.
are
And
in
as
a
mentioned earlier,
freaking
do check out all the other Hogwarts videos I've
entertainment
whipped up for
park.
you if you've enjoyed
You,
this one. Hopefully
like,
you'll enjoy
totally
them as well.
think that
And
you are
big thanks to you
transported
Reloaders who
there
support me through
into
YouTube
the
channel memberships. You're all
Wizarding
the best,
World.
and I'll
It's just the vibe that they created is amazing. So
Yeah,
here's the thing.
I gotta go. I gotta go to that someday. I can't.
Oh,
I can't wait.
the Orlando. Oh,
Oh
yeah,
my
it's
god,
really,
yes.
it's so good. I mean, I loved it, and like Nocturnally is really, like, that whole store is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I actually have Tom Riddle's diary that my husband bought me.
Oh, that's
Well,
pretty
I
cool.
wasn't looking. Well, I
Did he
wasn't
slip
looking.
it in your cauldron?
It's a cool $50 diary though.
Ooh. Does it write back
Yeah.
to you? Why is it $50?
No, it doesn't write to me, unfortunately, but it's a really nice quality.
Does it come with an attractive older man attached to it?
No,
That's
it
a lot
doesn't.
of money.
But yeah, that place is awesome. Hogsmeade was okay, I guess. Hogwarts itself is pretty cool, and then you inside Hogwarts itself is a ride, and then I think it's Escape from Hogwarts or something like that. And then the new ride, the Hagrid's Forbidden Beast or something. That one is sick. I
Really?
got super lucky that I got into that ride because I waited 2 hours. You will wait up to 8 hours in that line to get on that ride. And then we got lucky. We got 2 hours. We rode it and it broke down.
Oh no.
Like, because it was new, it kept breaking down, and we just got so lucky. And of course, if you get the pass, you can ride a Hogwarts Express, which is really sweet the way they did it. Yeah, it's really good. But in regards to the game, I was just watching this whole what was it? Leaks and tips and what have you, and I was thinking, how cool would it be if the character creator for you to choose to be part of a prominent full-blooded family that is currently in the lore of the game, of the books. So like yes, like you could choose if you want to be part of the Black family tree, like, because they span, generations, thousands of years, and
like
maybe
marrying
even
cousins and shit.
Well, I mean, do you have to ruin the? No, I'm joking. But I think it would be cool to choose, like, if you would belong to that, and then maybe see like a family tree or some shit. And I think it would be cool if you could, like, choose to be part of the, like, if you were from the bloodline of the Hogwarts builders.
Yeah.
Sort of like Tom Riddle, aka Voldemort, was Slytherin's descendant.
Yeah.
I think that would be freaking cool.
It would be cool, but from what I'm seeing, I think what they'll probably do is that everyone has the same kind of generic backstory of you are from here. This is why you're going to Hogwarts in your 5th year.
If you even have one, because some games like that will not create any background and be like, it's up to you in your imagination.
True.
But I think it would have been a cool option to choose, though.
Well, what you could do is you could go through the books and find the Black family tree, and then just find a person in the right time period, and just create a character and name them that.
Or they could offer you background, sort of like.
Oh, like the character creation background options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of
like Guild Wars has
Divinity.
that.
Sort of, yeah. and then you could choose, oh, I'm a pure-blooded dude, or I'm a
Right.
filthy muggle, or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's a lot more likely.
That would be nice. And then if, say, you chose like pure-blooded, you could choose like a prominent family you're part of, or what have you.
Yeah.
I think that would be a cool customization option.
Yeah, I think that if you could choose pureblood, it probably would just say, you're from a pureblood wizard family, or like an old wizard family or something. It probably wouldn't specify.
Yeah. And I think it would be nice if they did like Easter eggs in relation to the original games. I played first 3. I have first 2. Well, I have first 3 games, 2 on PC and 1 on PS2. The third one.
Right.
And I'm hoping that when they do Quidditch and stuff like that, they will not have the same system or something similar, because in the older games, in the original games, you had to fly through freaking circles if you wanted to catch that snitch. So like you had to navigate, and it was hard because it wasn't WASD. To navigate, you had to use arrows.
Oh.
And so it was weird because if you're right-handed, you're used to using arrows with your right hand. So your right hand is just trying to do both, because you have to use the arrows and navigate the mouse with the camera. And I'm really hoping they're not gonna do those kind of like, you have to fly through circles or what have you. It was a little bit of an annoying thing. But they did borrow the whole puzzle part where like you learn apparently a spell and like you go through a puzzle like they did in the original games, which I must say that from what I've seen, I'm thankful and I'm not at the same time that our wizard is mute, or at least for the most part, because original games, you learn a spell and then the professor sends you to a testing room where you test that spell, which half the times you kind of wonder how that professor is not afraid you might fall off and break your neck. And then you hear Harry just going, the first spell you would learn is Flipendo. Every time he cast that, he yelled that. That's a lot.
Flipendo.
Yes,
yeah, that's
exactly. And you sit there and he's like yelling that Flipendo. I'm like, shut up already. So, and there was
seems
no
like they might have learned their lesson with that one.
Well, I mean, they did learn on the 5th year, I believe. They did learn how to cast spells without saying them.
Right.
Because prior to the 5th book, it was a cardinal rule that you had to yell the spell when you're weaving the wand. So I think that's why the original games had that. I love those games, but boy, they got annoying pretty quick.
Yeah, I bet. So overall, are you excited? Are you dreading it?
I liked what I've seen.
Yeah.
I will try not to get on a hype train. For one reason is usually games then they tend to fail me. So I keep my expectation low because I want to be wowed by the game.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, it actually looks pretty cool. I'm glad that no microtransactions so far.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
So I'm kind of leery on pre-ordering it though, because at least 3 or 4 games I pre-ordered that I was excited for, unfortunately, one way or the other fell flat on their faces, or somehow it just was not cutting it.
Right. There's no point in pre-ordering unless you are going to get like the collectors or deluxe or whatever. And get those extra items. I mean, if you're just going to get the standard edition, which I probably will, because I just don't really care about the extra stuff. There's no point pre-ordering at all.
I will not mind buying deluxe edition if those cosmetic items are still there. If the pre-order is just for the 72 hours, I'm like, screw it, I'm not gonna do it. But I will buy a deluxe edition if those cosmetic items are still there. I
Right.
wouldn't mind that. Like,
Well, I
okay,
think the
you want like
72
$80 for it, fine.
hours. Yeah, I think you had to get like the deluxe at least to get the 72 hours.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, if the only purpose of that pre-order is just that extra hours, I don't care.
Right, because
But
I don't either because it's not an online game. Like it's not an MMO, so I'm not starting behind. I mean, that's a little bit as far as like live streaming and content creation goes, I'll be a little bit behind, but I'm not super worried about it. I mean, I don't really want to spend extra money just to be able to live stream it, you know, a couple
but to
days
be
early.
honest with you, I already had my YouTube channel started when Valhalla came out. And I pre-ordered it because I was like, I'm gonna make a playthrough because I loved Odyssey, and the trailer was kind of decent. Like, let's just say it set up positive expectations.
Right.
When the game, I don't remember if I hit those videos. When that game came out, when you played it, it ran fine. Like, you see it and you know, like, it's in front of you, so you fine. When I looked at my footage, I was missing frames upon frames upon frames.
Oh my god.
I would turn the camera around because the game was unoptimized, and I remember I could not figure out what the hell was wrong with it. So I went to Nvidia. Nvidia says it's Ubisoft. Ubisoft says it's Nvidia. Then they both pointed fingers at OBS.
Right.
OBS is like, I don't know. So, like, I'm pretty sure it was on Ubi, but Ubi was trying to get, blame of itself on somebody else. Because I went into deep conversation with Nvidia. They checked the stats and they're like, nope, the game should run fine.
Yeah.
And whatnot, but I was losing frames like mad. And then I watched ESO play the game. I think his rig is about $10,000. It was struggling to run that.
Wow.
And my computer was not even my husband's computer at the time. It was not even 6 months old yet. And like when I was recording, the quality of the footage was horrific. I didn't try again, like later on, like recently or anything. I don't know if they fixed it, but I found out that maybe even if you like get the game day one, unless the developer gives it to you as a gift, knowing that the product they have on it is good quality, then you never know. Like, you might buy it, I want to stream it or whatever, and then you start streaming it and it's dog shit quality because the game is unoptimized.
Yeah, that would suck.
That's why I would rather wait and see how like the quality from the others before I try it myself, because I got burned by Valhalla, and that's actually one of the worst $60 I've ever spent. So I mean, that's one thing why I wouldn't want pre-order. I'm just hoping that the pre-order part is only for that 72 hours, just to build up the hype, and they would keep the deluxe edition with that extra cosmetic stuff.
Right.
Then I would get deluxe. But if it's not, I'm just gonna get basic. I'm like, I don't care. Why would I overpay?
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna get the basic one, but I mean, I will get it day of and be super excited. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's hard to mess up a Harry Potter game, but at the same time, it's like all you have to do is respect the source material. Don't try to change anything. Don't think you're better than J.K. Rowling and that you've got better ideas. It's set in a different time period, so they can take certain liberties, but they still need to respect the source material because, Harry Potter has an avid fan base. I mean, people like me and you who know shit about Harry Potter. I mean, we know a lot of stuff. And so if we see something that doesn't make sense, it's going to get called out. It's going to be a big deal. And that's the only way pretty much they can ruin the game. It looks great. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And as long as they respect the source material, then I don't really foresee any problems unless you go in and just nothing works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also hope that that the combat looks exciting.
Yeah, that's true.
But I have a little bit of a cautious peeve, I guess I would say. I'm really hoping it's not gonna turn into God of War combat. God of War in narrative. Okay, so God of War narratively is a good game. I played it's not that I would replay it again because screw that kid. I hated that kid.
Oh no.
That kid pissed me off so much. But combat-wise, the game was really dull. It was incredibly repetitive. You had like, I don't know, 4 attacks at best, 3-4 attacks. Like, okay, you would throw that axe, you could hack with it, and then I remember what the other one thing was. And then you got the blades eventually from the previous games. And then you have so many movesets with that. But then the enemies take so much beating that the combat becomes repetitive. Incredibly repetitive. And I just... If it wasn't for the story, I would probably give up in the first 3 hours.
Right. Well, from what we've seen so far, it looks pretty good. I mean, you've got your different, all your different spells, your plants, your animals, a lot of different options for how to fight. But maybe you only have like 4 equipped at a time or something like that. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm hoping that they got more inspired by the combat in, say, Spider-Man game. Because combat in Spider-Man game was very dynamic and it was never boring. And I'm just hoping that they could do something like that. That you will not just, wail away at your enemy taking 1% of health at a time.
Right, yeah.
Or having to come back to battle health enemies at a later date, because right now you're just level 1. You're a God of War, but you're level 1. You cannot beat those Draugr somehow, because that makes sense. So I'm just hoping they will not do that either. So, but otherwise, yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks better than I expected.
Yeah. All right. Well, I say we go ahead and wrap this recording up, but overall, I think we're both, pretty much looking forward to it. Pretty happy. All right. Well, thanks for talking to me about it. I'm going to go ahead and shut down the recording.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, everyone. And if you like this kind of content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will be coming out with a new episode of the podcast every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Hope to see you around.